Hello and welcome once again to this channel. I am Raphael Adeyemo. In previous tutorials, we have learned how to add expiration date or subscription date to our applications. We have also learned how to create encrypted activation keys for application and also learned how to determine the PC or HDD serial number. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can combine all these separate tutorials together to create a quarterly, annually or biannual subscription plan for your Excel applications, be it a template, software or any other VBA application, so that you can continue to make a recurring income from your Excel applications. Make sure to watch this tutorial to the end to learn how you can do this for free and apply it in your work. I must emphasize that in as much as there are tools out there that can be used to break or crack passwords that you have used to protect your Excel applications to steal your codes, there are also tools out there that you can use to protect these codes from being stolen as well. And you can also find a way of protecting your codes so that nobody can tamper with it. Please be reminded that all the tools out there that you can use to protect your Excel applications are not 100% bulletproof. And also note that what is being shared here is only for educational purposes. Let me briefly explain to you how this subscription plan works. Assuming this is the first time that a user is opening your workbook on his or her computer for the first time, when the workbook opens, he or she will be presented with this dialog box. And for today's tutorial, the dialog box says that you can use this subscription package for 1 day. That is because I only allowed 1 day for a free use of this application. So when the workbook opens, in column A, I'll have the component or criteria that I'll be looking out for before you can use this workbook. The criteria are: 1, the hard disk serial number, and then the date and time in which the workbook was first opened on your computer, and then the end date, and that will be the date that I have specified in the workbook open event that you can use this application for free. Please note, even if the user decides to backdate the date of the computer or fast forward the date, it doesn't have any direct impact on what has been written here, because as soon as the workbook opens, these items are written down. So if the system was backdated before the workbook, the date here will be a backdated date, and then the end date will also be a backdated date. If the system was fast forwarded, it will be the same. So this application will work irrespective of whether the user decides to change the date and time of the computer. So let us come here. These are the subscription keys that I have generated and embedded on the form using the key generator that we learned how to create in our previous tutorial. These are the keys that you'll be sending out to your users to use as a subscription key. Now you have to keep a database of all the users of your application and also all the keys that you have sent to each individual user, because whenever a key is used by an individual, the key is logged in this column, and if the user decides to use the same keys again, he or she will be prompted that that key has been used and there's no way he or she will be allowed to use that key again. So you have to be careful with the keys that you send out to your users. When we come here to this key checker, this key checker here is here to check to see that any key that is entered by the user is an exact match of a key that you have given to the user. This prevents the user from just entering any random characters and the system accepting it as the key code. Before a particular subscription key is accepted by the system would have to verify the HDD serial number and then combine that with the number of days that the application have been renewed for or subscribed to, and then we'll then combine it with a key code that have been verified and combine all of them together to form the key code. And when that condition is satisfied, that is when the system will be open for the user to use. So in continuing, let me click OK. When I click OK, you will then be presented with the login form where you can enter your username and your password and click on login to be logged into the system. So let me cancel this, and then let me decide to, let's say, make this date the 29th of March, 29th of April. So let me backdate it, and then let's say on the 4th month. Let me close it and exit. Let's open it again, and this time around, because we have backdated the end date to the I used 4 okay, because I've backdated the date to 4th of April 2023. The message that I'm getting is that, thank you, this subscription package is expired. Please contact Rapid Solution, and then that is my number where you can send the HDD serial number to me on WhatsApp, and then I will send it back to you together with your subscription key. So as soon as you click on OK, then instead of you to be taken to the login page, you then be directed to this page where you'll be asked to enter the product activation or product subscription key. So let me say, since this is a criteria for the product activation, let me copy it out and paste it here. Subscribing to a 20-day package. Now the last criteria to be satisfied here will be the key code. So let me come down here and then pick a particular key. Okay, let me select this key and then paste it. As part of the verification, I have already told you that if the key code that is entered or the activation, the subscription key that is entered, it has been used before, you'll be prompted with a message that activation subscription key have been used and you are not allowed to use. So let me click on activate, and this is the message that we are getting. 1, we have satisfied the first criteria, being that you have entered the correct serial number. Okay, then with the second criteria, activation key have been used already, so you cannot use it again. Then you have to click OK and then go back and come again. So let me copy this once more, paste it here, and then activate it for 20 days. And this time around, let me choose a key that I have not used here. Okay, paste it. But this time around, let me assume that I change let me remove even this dash in front of the 2, which is part of my PC serial number, and let's see what happens. Because I've decided that since I've subscribed to this package, let me give the same package to my friend or somebody, or I'm going to use the same activation or subscription key on another PC, and then let's see what happens here. As soon as I click activate, the fields become blank because the PC serial number that I entered was not correct, even though the subscription key code was correct. Let me now then enter the 20 and then select the same key. and let's activate it. You have entered the correct serial number. This software have been activated for the next 20 days. So as soon as you click OK, then you will then be taken to the login page. You can see that when you come here, when you look at it, the key code is made up of the HDD serial number, the date that you used to renew your application, and then the key code. So there's no way you can decide to cheat the system. Any date that you decide to renew your application will be logged down, and that will be the date that will be used to calculate your number of days that you have to use the application for. Let me close it this time around once again, and then you can see the message that we are getting. You can use this subscription package for 20 days, and this dialog box will always pop up to remind the user the number of subscription date that is left for him or her to continue to use the application. So when you click OK, this time around you are not being taken to the activation page, but rather you are just being asked directly to enter your login credentials, and then you are good to go. Now let us go into the VB code editor and learn how we can create this and add it to our application. I am still using the file that we have been using in our previous tutorial, and I'll provide a link in the comment section where you can download it and use it in your application for free. Let me click on the developer tab, go to Visual Basics, click on Insert, and then insert a new model. I'll be writing the code to check for the expiration date and the PC serial number in this model, although I could have written the same code in the workbook open event. I would want to write it in a model and then call it in the workbook open event. So let me call this model check PC. So that will be the name of my model, and let me declare this, and after that I'll write the sub PC underscore checker. In here, let me declare all the variables that I'll be using. So dim sh as worksheet, set sh equal to this dot sheet. So what is the name of the sheet that I'm going to use? I'll be using for this. I would want to use login as the worksheet name. So, and then the second variable will be my serial number as double. Then dim fso file scripting object as new scripting dot file system object, and then my serial number will be equal to fso dot drives, and then the drive where our application will be installed on, and always the installation is done on the drive C. So let us choose drive C dot serial number. Okay, so these are my variables. Since I'd want the PC serial number to be written down, the start date, and then the number of days that I have specified for the application to be used for free, let me then write here, use here as the criteria, and then use here as the details. Okay, so the criteria that I'll be looking for is 1, HDD number. Okay, so then the next one will be the start date. and then the next one will be end date, and then the last thing here will be the subscription key. So subscription, SUBS, subscript. Okay, so these are the criteria that I'll be looking out for as soon as the workbook opens, and it is in column I. So let me now write if statement to check to see that all these criteria are met before the workbook can be used. So the first one would be, let me write this if statement: if sh the range is I to the value is equal to empty, then if it is empty, then what should happen? And if so, if f_range I2 is empty, then this is what should happen as soon as the workbook opens: sh_range I2 dot value should be equal to my serial number. So if it is empty as soon as the workbook opens and that the I2 is empty, then my serial number, the HDD serial number, should be written there. Let me copy this if statement, bring it down here, and then change I2 to I3. And if I3 is empty, what should happen? Then I3 should record now the date and time in which the application was first opened based on the date and time of the system. So we use now. Okay, and that is it. So let me once more paste it, and then with I4, if I4 is empty, then I would want I4 to show the date plus the number of days that you would want your application to be used for free. So let's say instead of 1 day, I want this application to be used for free for 10 days. With this done, let us run the code or step through the code to see if all that we have written is correct. So let us step in by pressing F8. Okay, so there's no fault at the moment. Now you can see that. Let me expand here. You can see that the HDD serial number have been recorded, the start date have also been recorded, and then the time have been recorded. So you see that the time is 5:23 a.m. and then also the date, the number of days that I would want the application to be used have also been recorded. Let me clean this and let me go back and decide to change, let's say, this to drive E, since I have another drive in my PC and it is named drive E, and let us run it to see. This is to show you that all HDD comes with their own serial number. So let me step through once again. And when we come here, we would notice that the number have changed from 10 to 15. So all HDD are not the same. This code here is to check for the PC name, the HDD serial number, and the date and time that the application was first opened. Let us write another code to check for the expiration date. So with this, let me declare a new dimension, and then I'll say dim expiry as date, and then let me say that expiry should be equal to the date that have been recorded in sh.range i4. So expiry is equal to sh.range i4 dot value. Let me copy. So that will be my expiry. Now let me write this if statement to check to see if the current date is either greater than or less than the expiry date. So let's write this if statement. If date is greater than expiry, then what should happen? And if if date happens to be greater than expiry, I want this message box to show that this is expired. Okay, so that will be the message box, and then VB exclamation, and the message that I would want it to exclaim is what? Thank you. And that will be for the first condition. What about if the date happens to be less than the expiry date? What should happen? Then let us write an else statement. So else, we should be getting this message that says for and minus the date So this will be the message that you should get if the expiry date is greater than the current date. So this will be the message that you should get, and ends up. So let me save, and then let me step in to see if the code that we have written is correct. Let's go on. We have passed here, so dim expiry as date, and then so i4. Let's go on else. You see that since the expiry is greater than the current date, then we have here this message that you can use this subscription package for 10 more days. This is based on the 10 days that we declared up here. So if the condition is correct, then we can still continue to use the package for 10 more days. Let's click on OK and then step out of it. Now that we are writing this code for the expiry date and then the HDD serial number, what about if the user decides to activate the program or decide to buy a subscription package for the program? How will he or she do that? He or she will be able to do that by filling out this form. So let us come here and then insert a new user form. Hold down here and drag it out here for more room. This is going to be a basic design. Now that we are finished with this simple design, let us continue. So with BTN subscribe, let me declare these few variables that I'll be using on this form. So the first variable will be dim activation key, as double, and then let me go to the model and copy all of this. I need these two, I need all of this, so let me copy it out, copy, and then come here and then paste them. So I'll be needing this set of variables, and then let me cut the operation key and paste it here. So these are the variables that I'll be needing for now. The first thing that I'll have to check to see if it is correct before any subscription can be made is to check to see if the HDD serial number that have been submitted to you for you to use to write the subscription package is correct. So let me comment this out and then write this PC HDD number. So the first thing is to validate if the HDD number is correct. So then let me write this if statement. If txt, what is the first txt serial number? Let me copy it out. If dot value is equal to empty, then if it is empty, the user would have to be prompted that the txt serial number is empty. So then we have to assign this message box to it. Please PC so then exit sub and end if. Okay, so that is the first validation to be made. Then the second one will be that if my serial number does not match the value that have been placed in the txt serial number, then what message should we get? Then and if we should be prompted with this message that then exit sub. So therefore let me enter any number here aside the PC serial number, and let's see, I've entered the wrong PC serial number. Okay, now let me copy the PC serial number since I do have it here and paste it in, and let's see what happens. Since I did not assign any message to it confirming whether it is correct, then it is assumed that this number is correct, but that is why I'm not getting any error message, because if I should remove it and then click on this, I would be prompted with this message. So that validation have been done. Let me then continue, exit sub. Then let's write an else message. So let's write the else message to tell it that if it is correct. So with that, we have successfully checked for the PC serial number. The next thing that we have to do is to generate the subscription keys that we'll be using to subscribe to this system. So let me write this declaration: dim lr as long. Lr is equal to dot worksheet function dot count a sh the range k is to k, bracket close, then plus 1, since I want it to be dynamic, and that is where the keys, the subscription keys, will be placed. So let me go to the workbook and then key and say this. So to generate our subscription plan, let us go back to our previous tutorial on key generator and generate the subscription keys that we are going to use in our application. Remember what I told you about the array of characters in when you are using this way to generate the keys. The way and manner in which you arrange your characters or the type of characters that you choose is greatly dependent on what type of password that will be generated when you use this key generator. So always make sure that you choose a key array that is unique to you and you alone. So if you are to use this workbook, make sure to change this array of keys. Let us run it and then start to generate our keys. So these are the set of keys that we'll be using for as our subscription keys in this tutorial. Now, after I have finished generating this subscription key, this subscription key would have to be validated before the user can use our application. So, and the validation will come in two forms. One, the first form will be that we would have to check to see that the key have not been used before, and then the second validation will be that the key is an exact match of what have been inputted here. So let us do the first key validation, and we are going to put that first key validation on M. So let us write used key here, used keys. So now we are going to write a validation to check to see if the keys have been used. Let us now go back to our VB editor, our user form 1, and then to check for the used keys, let me declare this variable. So dim nr as long. LR will be equal to application dot worksheet function dot count a sh the range k is to k plus 1. Let me write this if statement. If what? If txt dot value is equal to empty. Then end if. So if it is empty, then what should happen? I should be getting this message. What about if it is not empty and then you have entered a value into it? Then we will also have to write a code to check to see that the value that you have entered have not been used before. So let me write this else if statement again. Application dot count if. Count if. Let me see something. Okay, the keys, the substitution keys are in case, so dot count if, then in column M. So this is going to be column M not K. Than 0. So if it counts and it is greater than 0, then we should be getting this message. And that is the code. Please enter a valid subscription key. So let me copy a subscription key and paste it here. You have entered correct serial number there, correct book. Else if application dot. Okay, so this shouldn't be dot is comma. Let me rerun it again. Put it. Please enter a valid subscription key. So in order to log the keys that have been used here, we have to write this. So sh.range M and LR equal to txt sub keys dot value. So with this, the keys that will be used would be logged under M, and since we have already declared the LR here, let us run it again to see if the key that will be used will be logged here. Let's copy this key. Okay, now we can see that the key that have been used is logged down here. For our next validation, we have to verify that the key that was used to log in is present in the keys that have been generated and wired into the system by the developer. You can see that the key code that I've used cannot be found among any of these keys here. We have to write a VLOOKUP statement. So let me write validate key here. We'll be using this to validate the key. So anytime a key is entered, we'll validate the key here. So let's go back to our VB and write this code. So let's copy this here, paste it, and instead of LR, let's clean it and say M2. No, this is not M, but rather J2. So J2. So anytime a key is used, the key will also be placed in J2. So we have the same key in J2, and that is where we are going to validate if the key that has been used is correct. So to validate that the key used here is correct, here we are checking to see if the key has been used previously or not. Here we are checking to see, with this key, validate key, we are checking to see if the key or the set of characters that have been used as a key code is present here. So let me then write this. So key checker. I'm going to write a VLOOKUP to do that. So let me write equal to, then if, into brackets SNA, then VLOOKUP J2, comma, then I, comma, then where are we checking? We are in, so we want K will be 11, K will be number 11, and then we want exact match, which is going to be false. If the key that has been entered is not present, I would want this cell to be blank, but if it is present, then it will return the value true for me. For it to be blank, I would have to say double quotation, then, and then write true. Close the quotation, and then. So now you can see if the key that I have entered here is not present in this set of keys, this key checker here will be blank, but if it is present in this, it will return the value true for me. Let me copy this key and then paste it here, and because this key is present, it is returning the value true for us. So let me clean 3 out of it, and then you see that it is returning empty cell for us. That's what we are going to use to check to see if the key that has been used is correct or not. So let us return back to our VBA and continue with our if statement. So let's go on and say that, let's write a comment out here, and then so check for the validity of the key. So let me write this if statement. If sh dot range o2 dot value equal to empty, then and if will be presented with this message box. you have entered the wrong activation key. So you wrong sub VB information. Then if the key that you have entered there is wrong, I don't want any value that is present in sh.range J2 to be cleared. So if it is wrong, then if the key is not correct, then sh.range J2.select, then sh.range J2.select. Okay. So selection dot clear content then we should then exit sub. Since I would want that the activation key should include the values, the HDD serial number, the start date, the end date, and then the subscription key, then let me write this line which says should be equal to sh.range I2 and again sh.range I4 and sh.range is going to serve as my activation key. Then in all, sh.range I5 would then combine all the items and it will be equal to my activation key. So sh.range I5 is going to be sh.range I5 will be my activation key. If activation key is equal to sh.range I5 the value, then sh.range I2 equal to my serial number. Okay, so let me copy this, paste here, and say I4 and then I5. So if these conditions are satisfied, then I'm going to get this message box. I've been activated for the number of days. That will be the value that you enter here, the TST date. So the number of days is going to be, this software has been activated for and then also the days. And this, so VB Let us write a code to clear the text box. So we have txt key, then we have this, copy them and then come down here. Dot value equal to empty, and copy this, paste, and after that let me call this here, call, okay, let me also call it here. And then here also. Let me run it. So let's run it to see we have, and then let's say 40 days, and let's choose we can see the message here that the software have been activated for 40 days. The MBB information. Okay, so when we come down here we can see that the new date is now 6/9/2023, and that is when the software would have to run for. So the software will run, and then when this date is reached, then the software will be deemed expired once again. Take a command button, put it here, and then write exit on it. With that, let's write this code. Before exit, let's say this workbook.save. Then after that, let's bring this message box that says so VB critical, and after that the workbook, then dot display alert should be equal to false, and then this dot close equal to true, and then application dot quit. Please always remember to disable this close button. So let's write this code for it. User form before query close. You come down here, query close, and then write this code. If close mode equal to 0, then cancel equal to true. Just this line of code will disable the close mode, the X button. So but since I'm not done, let me comment it out and continue with my work. Now that I've finished designing and coding the subscription form, let me call it in the check PC event. And so now let me call this user form here. So let me name it and say subscription. Okay, so I'm going to call the subscription here, and before I would have to call it here and paste then show. So if the date is greater than the expiry, then the subscription should show. Then the next thing that I would have to call will be that if the expiry date is greater than the system date, then the login should show. So let me bring this down here, and then since we have the login here, and then login should show. Okay, now that we are finished, let us call this in the workbook open event. So let me come here, copy this, and then click on this workbook and then paste it in the workbook open event. Click on save and then exit. Let's reopen it to see. As soon as our workbook opens, we will be greeted with this message saying that you can use this subscription package for 40 days because we did activate it for 40 days. So let us reduce the date to see what happens. So let's say change the month to 4th April. Let's save it and then exit. Reopen it. The subscription package is expired. Irrespective of the fact that we have the subscription key written here, since the date is passed, then this key here is no longer valid. To learn more on how you can encrypt the PC serial number together with the number of days and then the subscription key and send it back to the user, please watch other videos on the series Packaging Excel to learn more about how to encrypt and then decrypt your keys. Also, bear in mind that this method that I've shown here really works, and you can actually employ it in your application. Thank you for staying and spending your precious time with me to learn how you can add a subscription plan to your Excel applications. Do not forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you have found this tutorial exciting, informative and educative. Please do not also forget to give a comment in the comment section and I'll be glad to reply you. Thank you and bye bye for now.